One thing we can count on is things changing. The names of your products, your people, your companies. Sometimes we might want to rename one of your service offerings. What we're trying to say is that you have a lot of records in your site all over the place. Sometimes, you know, they're amongst all sorts of different containers of modules. And over the years, you're doing a lot of naming, like this one here. We just have some keyword here, ABCTEZZ. Well, this is to discuss search and replace. Under the admin section of your console, if you go to search all modules, here we could search, you know, all modules for the word ABC. There it is right there. So it's nice so you can just kind of peruse and see what's out there in the ecosystem. But we also might want to do a few other functions. And up here in the right hand corner, this is the only module that works like this, so you want to pay close attention to this. We might want to delete records in mass. For example, I might want to say, you know, where title equals whatever, let's just eliminate it from history and remove it. That's a rarely used feature, but if you do have a module that has, you know, 200,000 records in it over time, and you don't want to delete them 1,000 at a time, that allows you to just, you know, kill all the records in there. Next one is search and replace, very popular one. And I'm going to say, look, let's go to our module generic enhanced A, and let's find all of the records that contain that title. Now, if you're, you know, with search and replace, you want to back up your database before you even monkey around with any of this stuff. Little word to the wise, so that you don't lose that. So make sure you have a good backup of everything before you do this. And you have an option here whether you want to replace that right now or not. So we're going to leave it to no, just to explain that the prudent thing to do would be to just run it first to see how many records will be affected. Let's go ahead and look at what those records are. There's a little link there that says, you know, show me those records that are about to be affected. And then you can drop in your new value. So I'm going to say all ABCTEZZs are now going to be called ZZZQQQP. Forgive the lack of imagination there. Just trying to change something to something else. So we're going to execute that. It's going to go through, and it's told me that 11 records have been replaced. Let's go see what happened. Here's all of our records that have been renamed. So it's not just limited to the title. You'll also notice that it also changed in this field or that field. So any reference point to that word can be changed. This is very helpful when it comes to trademarks, service marks, copyrights. You know, let's say down the road you get a trademark or a copyright for something. You might want to add a copyright symbol or a trademark symbol to everything there. But let's go a little deeper, because sometimes we need to get into the weeds and say, look, it's not just search and replace a word. It is instead appending the values of certain things. So for example, if I say generic enhanced A, we want to append that so that everywhere, you know, where we have a particular field, we can add something to that. So I might say RTF editor, let's add 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So that means it's going to go through, and wherever there's an RTF editor, it's going to add a little 1, 2, 3, 4. This means that your keywords, you know, if you want to go back and mass update all your keywords and append those keywords with more records, you can do that. And this is a great tool that allows you to kind of retroactively go back and mass update everything. If you'll notice here in the RTF editor, we've added comma 1, 2, 3, 4. And even in a larger article where we have something like this record here, we have some content here, and at the very end of that content is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's really neat that we have that level of control, and that means that as SEO tools change, or you want to add certain words or keywords, by the way, in that change attributes, you can even execute scripts. So you can actually apply CP scripts, those objects that do things dynamically. You might want to add it to the bottom of every article. Now, there's a better way to do that. If it's the same CP script, you just go add it to the module designer, you know, so you add it one time so it shows beneath every article. But a lot of interesting things you can do with that that we're very proud of, and hence a very important part of maintaining your site. We can also create template records. This is kind of interesting because let's say you are creating forms within your organization. You've spent some time to build this monster form. You're afraid that somebody might delete it. You don't want to goof around with it anymore. And what you can do is you can go and grab the value of that form. And that's right here. By the way I did that is I clicked on module properties. I went to my record. Any record in the site, you can do this. And then you go to module properties, and it'll give you the behind the scenes ID for what that thing is. And that's kind of like a little backdoor to show you what is the ID for this record known as drag and drop. And by the way, this form is a big form. We spent a lot of time developing it, all kinds of things happening in the form. So we don't want to lose that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here. We're going to go to create a template record. We're going to add the data ID, and we're going to hit create. Done. So what does that mean? Well, that means that it's creating a kind of a template for us to use in the future. Where would I find that? In the template gallery. So the new record that I just created, which was the drag and drop form, wherever it is, I'm not sure where it is, we would simply go to that record and say, let's open up that template that I want to reuse all the time, and let's release that to the site. So let's basically change it from hold to release, and now it's part, so it's basically just a great way. Think of it as a draft, in Word or in your email application, where we need to save certain records that we spent a lot of time setting up. And just because you don't want people to delete your record, or you forget to make a copy, save it to the template gallery, just so in the future, if you have to say, oh, I've done that before, I'm just going to go to the template gallery, start from that point, saving you a lot of time. And then, of course, deploying it very quickly. We can also do things like change regular expressions, and allow us to search for regular expressions. So any type of very specific thing, like I want to search all things that reference HTTPS, or all things that do whatever. On a similar note, just a little side note for those interested, again, this is probably for the more advanced developer. These are great tools in which to execute change. We also have a tool found in the development area. It's a tool called Content Audit, rather interesting tool. And it allows you to say, look, show me all of the content in this site, records which have been, managed over the years, which might not be conducive for responsive design. Or show me all of the records which contain the word whatever. So basically, this is, if you're flushing through a site and you're saying, look, I need to change a lot of records over time, this is a tool that will allow you to audit those. It'll come back with a list. As you can see, there's nothing that matches because the site is completely responsive. And that is also very helpful. So again, change, search all modules, search and replace, change attribute levels, append those different values. And if you have any questions, please contact your analyst or your production manager.